Snow White is not having a fabulous opening weekend. Screenshots of empty theaters were going viral. Reviews not great, money lackluster, and that's just the beginning of what's going on with this film. So here are just a few of the screenshots that were going around of Exhibit A, Option 2, and line item number 3. And here we have some of our reviews. So Rotten Tomatoes 44%, IMDb 2.4 out of 10. And here are just the regular old people reviews. Not fabulous. Peter Lloyd on X tweeted out a combination of reviews from some of the bigger publications. So here we have The Independent, lazy, visually repellent. The Guardian, exhaustingly awful. The Times, Disney has trashed its reputation. HuffPost, a strange hot mess. Listless was screened daily. And Vanity Fair said, it's good enough for TV. Even the money that they made opening weekend was pretty lackluster. So they made about 43 million domestically, about 83 to 87 million worldwide, which might sound like a lot, but the film itself cost $250 million to make. So they were expected to have a bit bigger of an opening weekend. They were expected to have anywhere from 45 million to 55 million domestically, which they almost hit the mark, but still not quite there. And let me just read you this last little review. This is from BBC, and it says the film has a major identity crisis. Oh, yes, my friend. Oh, yes, it did. And it all started with the dwarves. It all started with the dwarves. First, we got the diversity dwarves poster, and people were like, hey, there's only one dwarf in there, and the rest are just, it's like they were hitting every single demographic, and people didn't like that too much. It felt a bit forced, is what it felt. So they scrapped that idea, and Peter Dinklage then decided to come out and say, you can't cast actual dwarfs. That's not kind. So instead of casting actual people who, when you have a very niche, when you have a very specific look, I know this because of my voice, you don't get a whole lot of opportunities. But when you do, you do. But they didn't give actual actors those opportunities. They decided to CGI in the dwarfs. We wanted real dwarfs, okay? I agree with Tim Dillon in his assessment. Not only that, here you have Rachel Zegler, the lead, and Gail Gadot, right in the middle of a Middle Eastern conflict. You have Gail Gadot, who is IDF, and then you have Rachel, who is not. So you got that going on, and it's just a big old mess. It takes away from the fairy tale, is what it did. It took away from the magic that was Disney at one point in time. Maybe not recently, but this could have been a great comeback. Instead, it wasn't. So anyway, there it is. That's what happened with the opening weekend of Snow White and the Seven CGI Dwarfs. Again, I agree with Tim Dillon. Just they should have just scrapped it. Just scrap. Excuse me. Just scrap it. Maybe try again in a few years.